let's talk a little bit about cancellations. So cancellations is an important part of any medical practice. First thing we need to do is define what a cancellation is. So at Robbins Rehabilitation, we have a 24-hour policy on cancellations. You'll find this policy in your policy and procedure manual, and a copy of this policy is given to all patients. Okay? This is very, very important. We keep a pretty low cancellation rate. And what we actually call it is like our arrival rate, because it's a little bit more positive. So we have always been above 90% arrival rate, meaning that 90% of our patients show up to their scheduled appointments on time, or reschedule them. Okay. So if we're going to define a cancellation, it's any patient who does not come to an appointment without giving 24 hours of advance notice. So, we're not right down to the minute, well, it's 23 hours and a half. We don't get that technical with it. But, they need to give reasonable time. If that patient does not give 24 hours of notice, then that goes in as a cancellation in our schedule and in our system. This is really important because if we have our schedules full and people are coming in and we're busy, but we have a lot of cancellations, there's lots of gaps and holes in that schedule. It's important to keep our schedules busy and full, and to have people coming in for their appointments. It's also just like a consistency of care. If I had a therapist and they had a 75% arrival rate, and I had another therapist and they had a 95% arrival rate, the therapist with a 95% arrival rate, their patients value the treatment that they're getting, so they're coming in consistently. If patients are canceling, they're not finding value in the treatment that you're giving. So we take a very close look at cancellation rate. So if a patient either no-shows, so it doesn't come at all or doesn't call, or they call in less than 24 hours and say they can't make their scheduled appointment, that is a cancellation. There's lots of different things that we do to kind of track it, but it's important to know that. Now there is, different things that we track beyond that cancellation, like the reason and everything like that. But just purely definition, if a patient does not come to their appointment, or they do not cancel within 24 hours of that appointment, that is a cancellation. And it hurts us because that is an appointment spot that someone else could have taken. And that's how we explain it to the patients and why it's so important and why we have a cancellation policy. So that that appointment spot is valuable. We are having a therapist in there waiting to see you and give you a course of treatment and continue on the progression of what you're doing. So we've set aside that time for that patient. If that patient does not come in, that is an issue. One, they're not getting their care when they come in. They're not progressing through treatment. And two, we've supplied a therapist there to treat that person, and now that person is not there. So it's very important that we track it, that we understand what it is, and that our patients understand that it's important that they do not cancel their appointments and they come to their scheduled appointment.